I want to show you what's going on. This is from February 12, 2012. Okay? So this is the course catalog for Cholla Magna High School. All right? So you see, here's your IB, International Baccalaureate. Is that right? Yeah, English 3-4. And then you have, this is page 9 of 10 of your literature opportunities. Look, you can take literature of Holocaust and War. Hey, let's check that one out.
Explore the atrocities of war.
I'm going to read it to you. Literature of Holocaust and War. This course is meant to explore the atrocities of war and Holocaust on the psyche of individuals and societies. While many think of Holocaust as something as an occurrence in the past, it is still prevalent in many countries around the world. Now, war and the idea of Holocaust are physically distanced from American life. I repeat, in case you missed that, because I've got people that will say I didn't say that to you. Now, war and the idea of Holocaust are physically distanced from American life, okay? And since I'm a cult leader, you should all be believing that now. But it is important that we learn how its effects can reverberate through a culture. This course is a study of how people's prejudice can escalate into a hate that causes another group to be systemically segregated and eventually killed with no questions or rallies against acts that are inhumane and cruel. Through different sources of media, nonfiction, literature, critical essays, and research, we will examine what kinds of ethical responsibility we as individuals can take to avoid the sensitive issues of Holocaust and war. Now, I am not going to lie. Take that class. Mm-hmm. It sounds pretty cool. I'm down for that class. You know what other class I'm down for? Latino literature. Mm-hmm. So if this is something that's blessed by TUSD, what exactly, how awful must we be to be illegal? How awful must these stories that you just read, how awful must they be? Well, they're not that awful, to be honest, because my colleagues can teach Manuel's work. My colleagues can teach Sandra Cisneros' work. I can't. That's where we're at. But how is this consistent? How is this equal? This is our town. This is our largest school district. These are our children that they're playing with.
So, a quick question. So if you were, let's say, supposedly you were to take this curriculum and teach it in your class really quick, and you were talking about people's prejudices escalating into hate, and a district monitor came in, what would happen to you?
We'd be done. If I did any of this in my classroom, I'm done. Or at least I can tell you this. I would be that's maybe a little bit hyperbolic, but I would be called into question immediately. I'll give you another example. I'm a co-sponsor of MECHA. MECHA isn't illegal. It's a club. It's a club. That's what they say. It's not a club. It's a student movement. We know. But
there you go again.
But they call it a club in our little Tucson High world. So MECHA asked on Cesar Chavez Week if they could do a workshop for the rest of our, not the whole rest of our school, but invite other classes in, and they're going to do something. And I said, fantastic, come in and fill out the area reservation form. So they filled it out. We worked on it together. It was Oscar and I. And then I wrote in the email, I just want to be real clear that I am only going to be there with my class observing and making sure that, everybody's okay, that this isn't going to be directed by me. So it was approved pending approval. I'm not kidding. It was approved because in the old days, that sounds fine, we trust you, go ahead, but not anymore. So this is our students that are waiting to hear if they're going to be allowed to do something in honor of Cesar Chavez Week. So I can guarantee you, if they're worried about our students in a club that's outside the parameters of the law, that if I did some of this, I would be called into question immediately.